Half of y'all are in relationships with people that y'all don't even like for real. People who are very blunt are some of the most rude people ever. Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cameron. This is officially my 7th unpopular opinions video. So before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. And without further ado, let's get into this video. My first unpopular opinion is I think we should normalize people in this generation carrying themselves with a more mysterious quality. Obviously I'm biased because I'm naturally like super private. I just don't love the idea of people knowing like a whole bunch about me. Not unless you're like my mom or like my grandma or my husband. You don't need to know that much about me. Completely in the generation of like oversharing. We want to share every aspect of their life to everybody, not just on social media, but just to people in their real life. It's like none of their business. It doesn't have anything to do with them. Your life only has to do with you. I don't think that needs to be like shared with everyone, especially things that make you look dumb or they make you look stupid. You don't necessarily need to share that with people. And I know people are gonna say, oh, well, some of those things are important because people need somebody to relate to. So if you share that, then people feel like less alone. And I completely get that. I think it's okay to share things by yourself that were learning experiences. You can share that with people so that they can relate to you. But I feel like when it comes to stuff that's extremely personal, that's like super like exposing about you, I think you should keep those things to yourself. I think it's just better to have like an air of mystery about you. Not everybody knows about every detail about what's going on in your life. You're not like predictable. People don't know your next move. People don't know what you're gonna do next, what you're gonna say next. They don't know about you. You have to keep people guessing. You can't let random people in all the way. Of course, now your family and your friends, I don't think you need to be a mystery to people like that. Definitely people on the internet who you don't know in real life. Even people in your real life who you don't know or you don't even care about them that much and they don't care about you that much. I think it's better to have a more mysterious vibe about you. I know some people are just genuinely like open books and they don't mind sharing details, but like tell me why. Tell me why in the comments. If you're someone watching this video and you're like a real like open book and you just like tell everybody your business, like your real personal business, and when I say everybody I mean people that you don't even know like that, like why do you do that? Like genuinely asking. Is it because you just don't care, or is it because you literally cannot help it? Like why? My second unpopular opinion is half of y'all are in relationships with people that y'all don't even like for real. Kind of had an epiphany moment about this unpopular opinion. I was watching this video. He talks about like relationships. He talks about dating and stuff. In one of his videos, he said most people are in relationships with people who they do not have the deepest of feelings for. And that like hit me like a ton of bricks because I like completely agree. I'm not sure if I talked about this before on here. I'm really not sure. It really was like a light bulb moment for me because a lot of people are with people that they love them, they have love for them, but they don't really like them. They don't really respect them. There's not like deep, real love, healthy love between them. It's just like fake and like a fantasy. It's just presented like that in the media or just relationships you might see like in real life. Like I feel like you can just tell if you see a couple and you watch their dynamics, you can see if there's like real deep love between them. And of course, couples have ups and downs. They have good moments and bad moments. But I feel like even in the low periods, if you really deeply love that person and you have deep respect for that person, you hold them in a high regard, even during the low moments, you still respect each other. You don't treat them badly. I think you really see this more in relationships where you see a couple and they've been together for like 8, 9, 10 years and the woman's still waiting for the man to propose. Or they get engaged and they've been engaged for 3, 4, 5 years and the woman's still waiting to get married. Because I've heard it time and time again, not only from women but from men, if a man truly wants you, he wants to spend the rest of his life with you, he's not gonna have you be his girlfriend for a decade or longer than a decade and you're still waiting on a ring. A man who really wants you is not gonna do that. He's gonna lock it up as soon as he can. Not saying that you should do it within months or anything, but whenever you both are ready. He's not gonna wait 15 years to do it. Definitely not. Not if you really love you. I feel like a lot of people don't have genuine, real, deep love for themselves, so they don't know how to give that to another person. So that leads to like one-sided relationships where one person clearly likes the other person more, or people don't really understand what they truly want in a partner. They'll meet somebody and they're like, oh, I like you, and they'll get into a relationship with them, but down the line it's like, wow, I don't really have like the best connection with this person. Me and this person don't really have that much in common, but you got with them based based off of superficial standards or because they look good or because they have a nice body. You guys really weren't that compatible at the end of the day. A lot of people settle. They might get to an age where they feel like they're past their prime, or they feel like they don't have any other prospects. And so here's this person and they want to be with me, and I'm not getting any younger, and I want to get married, I want to have kids. So let me just be with them, even though I know deep down in my gut this is not the right person for me, and I don't even really like them like that. I think that's part of the reason why the divorce rate is as high as it is, because a lot of people are in relationships with people who they don't truly love or like. And like is just as important as loving. There's some people who love the person that they're with, but they don't like them. You gotta like someone just as much as you love them if you're in a relationship with them. Half of y'all don't like y'all partners for real. Y'all don't like them. You love them, but y'all don't like them. You may not want to admit it to yourself, but you don't like your boyfriend. You don't like your girlfriend. You don't like your husband or your wife. You don't like them for real. Because if you did truly like them just as much as you love them, people wouldn't be cheating as much. People wouldn't be out here cussing their partners out on Instagram. People wouldn't be out here like disrespecting them, doing all these terrible things that are just completely hindering them having a healthy relationship. You wouldn't do that if they truly liked and love their partner. And all that starts with truly liking and loving yourself, as corny as that sounds. I think it's kind of sad. That's the way to combat this is, again, liking yourself and loving yourself, and just doing a lot better with choosing partners and vetting people. This goes for men and women. You gotta vet people before you get in a relationship with them. Figure out who they truly are as a person before you jump all the way in. My third unpopular opinion is people who are very blunt are some of the most rude people ever. People like to disguise being blunt as like keeping it real, or I'm just speaking the truth, or I'm just being honest. You're just being rude. You're just being mean. I feel like people who are like very, very blunt don't think before they speak. Not every thought that you have in your head needs to be blurted out. Develop a better sensitivity level, because you have to understand that there are people who are either very sensitive or they're not sensitive at all, and then you have people in the middle. You kind of got to read the room, especially if you're talking to someone that you don't know like that. You don't know their sensitivity levels. So if you know you're the type of person who's super blunt, you got to be more self-aware to understand that you can't just say anything to them. You don't know what's going to offend them or not, or what they're going to perceive as rude or mean. Or even if you've been around someone for a while, there are people who talk to people and they know that they're super sensitive. They still just blurt out anything. They say whatever comes to their head, and they're like super blunt about stuff. And I think people like that are very rude. It really comes down to just being insensitive. I don't like insensitive people because I'm like super sensitive myself. I come across someone who's very insensitive. I don't vibe well with people like that. I think this world would be in a little bit of a better place if people thought before they said things and actually like took other people's feelings into account. I just feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you don't need to say every thought that comes into your head. It's okay to be quiet about certain things if you're not sure about whether or not if you say it's gonna offend the person that you're talking to or not. And I think people need to do a better job of like reading other people's personalities, whether you just met them or not. If you can tell someone's temperament, you can kind of tell their sense of humor, you can kind of tell like a little bit about like how far you can go with them as far as what you can say, what you can't say. People need to be a better judge of that. And I feel like most people aren't. Blunt people who are very, very, very blunt are probably some of the rudest people you'll ever meet. You really just gotta ignore them. They really have problems going on inside if you're saying hurtful things to people. And usually people who are super blunt, they say something to hurt your feelings, and you tell them like, this hurt my feelings. They don't even care, because it's like, oh, I was just being honest. I was just telling the truth. Like, they don't even care because they're insensitive. So people who are really, 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 really blunt, you gotta get it together. Get it together. My fourth and last unpopular opinion is I think the music industry should sign people based off pure talent rather than looks and marketability. I think this is something that's been more prevalent in the 21st century. I think back in the day when our parents were growing up, like in the 70s, 80s, that era, people didn't really care for real if like a singer wasn't like super good looking, because I feel like a lot of times a lot of the songs that you heard back then, a lot of people didn't even know the artist singing the song what they even looked like. They just cared about the music. They just cared about how the music made them feel, if they liked the song or not. They didn't care about all the other miscellaneous stuff about how they looked or like what their body looked like, what color their hair was, or what their eyes, nose, lips looked like. They didn't care about any of that. It's once we got to like the 2000s that people started to care about that, because you started having like more social media outlets, so singers and artists became more visible. So I guess it mattered about like what they looked like and if they were extremely good looking or they had like a great body, more so the women than the men. I just don't like that concept because now like we have so many singers who can hardly sing. I'm not gonna get into who can hardly sing because that's gonna start a riot. I already know. There's people who are like extremely famous and they can hardly hold a note. The only reason they got signed was because of how they looked and because of how well the record execs thought that they can market them. And it goes well for a lot of people because a lot of people in this society are vain and they like to look at pretty people. As long as you look really good and you are sent a lot of great tracks and you can execute them properly, boom, you're extremely famous and you have millions of records sold. It doesn't even matter if you can sing for real. And it's kind of sad that that's what the music industry has come to. Like, any person can get signed to a record deal as long as you get into the right doors, extremely good looking and decent as far as your talent, and you'll get a record deal. There's so many people who can really sing, but they don't have any visibility as far as the media because they don't have like the look. But people who do have the look have all the visibility in the world, even though they don't really have that much talent. And talent is subjective, I know, but still, I don't think it should be like that. Like, there's so many amazing, talented artists who are so like underrated because they don't fit the beauty standard. Sign people based off pure raw talent as opposed to she's pretty or he's very handsome, so we'll sign him. It doesn't matter if he can't sing like that. It doesn't matter. Like, stop doing that. Like, let's get rid of that altogether. So that's the end of my video. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know down below what y'all's opinions are on my unpopular opinions. If you agreed or disagreed, let's discuss. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and turn on my post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. I love you guys so much if you made it to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!